We good now? Yeah. All right. So we'll get started here. So if many of you don't know, I am not Neil, if you've ever met Neil. So I promise you there is a much better version of this presentation that exists. So bear with me on this. But there are cool pictures. So at least I do have cool pictures. So Fanroll. Who is Fanroll? Fanroll by Metallic Dice Games. We've been in the industry for over 8 years now. Started off as Metallic Dice Games. That might be more common for people to know us, but we've kind of rebranded. We're now Fanroll. Expanded outside of just kind of providing your standard 7-piece dice sets and kind of going beyond and trying to incorporate way many more aspects of groups of gamers and people to the industry. So goal for 2025, how do we decommoditize the industry? Once again, basically, we're trying not to just release more and more 7-piece purple dice sets. There's plenty of 7-piece purple dice sets on the market. So as cool as they are, trying to kind of change that up. So in 2025, we've got more advents. So I, unfortunately, am not the Jewish kid that fell in love with advent calendars, but I am the kid that fell in love with advent calendars who taught Neil how to also love advent calendars. So Neil is now Mr. Advent Calendar. So we have a lot more exciting advents for sure this year. So many of you don't know, we did a Valentine's Day advent this year. So kind of trying to bring more different advents to different holidays. So not everyone has to be a Christmas holiday one. So Valentine's Day advent was kind of awesome. Came with 2 full inclusion sets that were themed out for Valentine's Day. Came with a bonus die that had date night ideas, so kind of running out of ideas, roll the die, take a chance. Also comes with a dice bag, so you open up the first day, put your dice in your dice bag, and collect them the whole way through. This year, we've also added a Pride Month advent calendar. So this will represent 14 different pride flags inside the actual advent, and then you also do get the themed out dice tray with it. So kind of an amazing dragon on the dice tray on that one. So that one will be out this year. It will be out in time for Pride, so you probably should be seeing that coming through pretty soon on pre-order. So I said 14 days worth of dice plus a tray. We also did a Halloween one this last year. It was a very limited run. It's 31 days of dice, so because of that, the price point was higher. So we weren't really too sure on how it would do, so we did a limited run. Of course, it did really well. So people are now like, hey, I didn't see this one. Well, that's why you didn't see it. So we'll definitely ramp it up next year. We'll run some few more of them, and they'll be available, and you'll definitely see those. The other nice thing this year is we don't always nail it the first time. So this year we actually do have on the back of the package what actually comes with it, because that's something we do get a lot from retailers. Well, what's inside? And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't want to spoil a surprise, but I guess you kind of need the surprise spoiled if you're going to sell it. So I understand. So we kind of worked on that, get the packaging worked out a little better, makes a little more sense, makes it a little bit easier to kind of explain to people what they're getting at that point. So check out the Halloween one. That one we'll have this year. We're also adding a 10 days of D&D advent calendar for Halloween. So this one's kind of a little bit more for somebody who doesn't necessarily just need to collect a whole bunch more dice. You're not trying to add a lot more to your hoard. So 10 days worth, you get the bag, you get a themed dice tray with it, and then it comes with an inclusion set that's also themed out. So kind of a different take on an advent without having to have so many days. So I do have a sample box of that in the booth you can come check out. So come by and look at that one. Here's what's inside of like the Halloween. You get the dice bag, you get down the metal D20. One day you end up with a full mini set, the inclusion set with the blood and skull. So kind of gives you an idea of what the 10-day will have involved in it. So Christmas Advent. So this is where we started. This is the big one. We've done Christmas Advents now for 3 years. Same kind of basic idea. You get 24 days of Christmas. You start off with the dice bag, and then you've got the dice included, end on a metal D20, the special edition snowman at the bottom, and you also get a mini set one day as well. So a lot of dice in that one. So Advents galore for sure. There was our D&D Christmas Advent as well. Same kind of idea. You get a tray, bag, the inclusion sets. So what does that mean now? So innovation in D&D. So this year, it's a big year for Dungeons and Dragons, obviously, with it last year being the 50th. And now what are we doing for this year? So this year we were releasing the Beholder Inclusion set. Those we actually have released, and those are out in the booth. You can come check those out. So those actually have the Beholder Inclusion on the inside. And then we also have our Liquid Core D&D set. Liquid Core is something we've been doing now for many years, kind of something we started and really innovated with. So definitely come check out Liquid Core if you haven't seen Liquid Core. Those are personally my favorite dice at this point is Liquid Core. So the next big release will be our Orb of Opportunity. So this is a D20 spinner. So this is a spinner, automatic spinner that comes with a silicone branded D20. So the top actually does remove, and you can put different dice inside of it. Silicone just happens to work really, really well because it just randomly bounces and it's very sporadic. But that should be released very soon. So I don't have the sample of that one, but the Orb of Opportunity is definitely one of our new innovative ideas we're coming out with this year. Next big release for old school D&D fans, Signature Series. If you recognize any of the old school artwork, we do have a full line of trays and towers coming out, featuring old school artwork from the original artist of D&D. So this is something for older guys like me, kind of a big deal. This is my bread and butter for sure. Our towers, I don't know if everybody knows, towers fold flat. They can be used with a tray, without a tray. So kind of a neat idea that we came up with. That's our own design. Trays to match with the old school artwork. So those are on order now and should be released pretty soon at this point. Next, we're going to be releasing gelatinous cubes finally. This is something we've been working on for a while, wanting D6s. We're big D6 guys. So gelatinous cubes. So it'll come with a full set of 66s, and the idea is each die is telling a story of who the gelatinous cube consumed. So you're going to be able to have this full run of these different characters that have been consumed by gelatinous cubes. And then the next big release in that is we are also doing a 55 millimeter Mammoth D6 gelatinous cube. And this thing is baseball size. This thing is huge. So this one will feature like multiple inclusions on the inside, and once again telling that story of who the gelatinous cube consumed inside of it. So these will be out this year as well. So really trying to bring some different ideas to D&D this year, now that we've kind of really had a chance to run with D&D. So that's spring. So we've made it to there. So what do we have going for the fall? So fall, we have big release. So with D&D, big deal this year, Year of the Dragon. So with new releases, dragons being #1 focus. So what we have here is Year of the Dragon. So on the left side, you've got the brass, copper, bronze, and silver gold dragons, and those will be represented by metal dice sets. The other 5 will be represented by silicone. So there are the core dragons for the silicone ones, and those will be out in around 6 months. So check those out. If you haven't messed with silicone dice, silicone is a different experience. So come check those out for sure. And then we have the core dragons in the metal version as well. So metal dice sets, full poly set with the dragon eye, and then the branded D&D on the actual die itself. So then the next one will be Fizban's Treasury. This is an actual treasure hunt through the collecting of dice. So what you have is multiple different mediums of dice with different values or different rarities in them. So you've got commons, you've got legendaries, you've got more rare, you've got more collectible and legendary. So this will be, some versions will be stone, like our crystal dice. We have metals, we have resin, sharp edge, and we'll have liquid cores involved in these. And like if you see towards the bottom, the ones with the stripe, the concept with those is those have the breath weapons coming through the die. So each one that has the banding through them has a breath weapon, and those are represented through that. We've got the liquid core to represent moon dragons. So the concept of this is you're really collecting dragons. You're really going on a treasure hunt, and these will all be packaged in an individual treasure chest. So really trying to kind of bring a collector aspect to the concept. And there will be a way to kind of track your collection and see what's rare and what's out there. So those will be a fall release. So definitely Fizban's Treasury is something we are super, super excited about this year. So we've got the hardcore gamers. Everybody's all in. We've got D&D. Everybody knows. So what about the rest of the world? The casual gamers. How do you engage a casual gamer into this world that we all know of cool dice and cool dice accessories? So we started off, we partnered up, and we're working with and making Monopoly. So we now have Monopoly trays and dice accessories. So we have Monopoly Risk Clue now in full D6 sets, so you can kind of add to your standard gaming experience. So Risk will come with 3 offensive and 2 defensive dice included. Clue has the 6 murder weapons involved. Monopoly has 5 tokens. And then the previous one has the tray and the 2 Mr. Monopoly D6s. So, like I said, we are all used to having trays in gaming, and the idea that Monopoly, you roll a dice on the big board that has a bunch of pieces and you're rolling, like, that's crazy. You need to have a tray. So kind of trying to expand and bring a little bit more casual gaming and kind of blending the two. So that means games for us. This fall, we are actually partnering up and releasing games for the first time. So we'll have 3 new games coming out where we've actually taken popular games and trying to make them a dice game without just rolling dice. We're trying to add a gaming aspect to it that we're all kind of used to. So we've got Connect 4 Rolls and Scrabble Texas Spellum and Battleship. So kind of the concept with Connect 4 is you're going to be rolling your dice. They're going to have different symbols and different meanings on them. You're going to be kicking people's dice out of the way and trying to play Connect 4. Texas Scrabble Hold'em. We're combining Scrabble and Texas Hold'em. You're going to have your center letters that you've rolled. That's the middle cards. You're going to have your own letters. You're going to be gambling to see who can build the better word. You're going to play your hand and kind of trying to bring the two together. Personally, my favorite, and we do have this out, so you can kind of check this out in the booth, is Battleship. So Battleship Search and Destroy is an actual engagement of searching and destroying with 2 people. So you'll have 2 boats. You're launching dice onto a board at each other's cards. The other person, if you hit, has a chance to engage in defensive attacks, and you're actually having a dice battle on a board. So this one, come check it out. You can come launch dice. So like I said, really trying to bring a little bit different aspect versus just making dice games that you're rolling dice. So for everybody that knows Neil is the Billy Mays of the dice industry. So for Neil, that would normally be enough for anybody else. For Neil, that's never enough. There's always more with Neil. So what else do we have coming out this year? So if you're big fans of Battletech, we have Battletech dice. So we will be releasing Battletech ammo dice this year. So 66s in the box. We will also have missile dice. So the missiles are actually metal. These are amazing. Then you got to have energy crystals if you're playing. So why not have energy crystals while you're at it? So we do have a full line of Battletech dice coming out this year. And it's kind of a neat, something that we haven't done before, a little more different and getting into shapes and things. So super excited, but they've got pips. And what if you play Shadowrun? Not a problem, we got you. So we'll also be releasing numbered version as well. So we'll have numbered for Shadowrun. So that's a lot. So we have a busy year still ahead of us, that's for sure. So if there's anything that we haven't done, haven't seen, or need to do, feel free to email us. We'll work with anybody. We will do any project. We've got multiple people here who have worked with us for years, and we always love to hear from retailers, anybody. You got an idea, you need something made, let us know. We'll either figure out somebody to do it or we'll do it for you. So not a problem. So that should do it, and if you have any questions, I might have answers.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Do you do branding for retailers?
Yes. We do have a big full custom. We can do custom of anything. We do custom lines. We've got custom dice, custom trays, custom bags, custom towers. So we can do a lot of about anything you want custom, not a problem.
And how do you get into that? Like, find out about it?
Just email us. Yep, email Neil. Neil will be the person you'll be talking to. Good luck with that.
Anyone else have any questions? Thank you so much, Todd. Can we please give a big round of applause for Todd? Thank you so much, guys. We'll be back in a couple minutes.